Hey, I've got some exciting news for you. The Senate vote to gut Obamacare and replace it with Trumpcare has officially been delayed until after the congressional summer recess because Republicans in the Senate couldn't round up enough votes to steal health care away from 23 million Americans. And if Republicans and Trump would have passed this garbage piece of legislation, then it would be guaranteed that more Americans would die because they couldn't go to the hospital and see a doctor when they got sick. So what happened? Why did the Republicans choke? Why did the Senate take a pass and kick the can down the road? Well, it's called the resistance. You may have heard of it. And it's been going full force to protect the American people from these thugs in high places, showing up to town halls to scare the bejesus out of senators who were thinking of voting for this atrocity and making their voices heard in their states and in the nation's capital. Special shout out to Indivisible and Move On for all your organizing efforts. You got these senators shaking in their boots. The resistance is working. And I want to take a moment to highlight one resistor in particular, Jason from Americans Take Action. You may remember him from the Russian flag prank at CPAC earlier this year, where he had a bunch of conservatives waving Russian flags with Trump's name on them. Well, Jason decided to actually show up to the Senate today with tombstones and hand them out to U.S. senators he bumped into in the hallway. Here's what super awkward Senator Marco Rubio had to say when he stopped him in the hall and handed him a tombstone.
I'm with ProtectOurCare.us. It's a website where people are getting their healthcare stories about ACA, about Medicaid.
Well, actually, in Florida, it looks pretty good for our Medicaid. I don't know about other states. I'll have to talk to you.
Well, I also just wanted to let you know that this is a constituency change. We're going to care the next time we run these elections. If you can vote for this bill, we're going to care the names and the futures of every constituent.
And on the tombstone, here's what it says, quote, your constituent's name here. The first thing this health care bill will kill is your chances for re-election. The second may be one of your constituents. ProtectOurCare.us, hashtag Americans Take Action. Damn, well that's telling it like it is, y'all. You ain't mincing words about it. And hell yeah, why aren't more progressives delivering hard-hitting messages like these guys? Yes, repealing Obamacare is gonna kill people. Yes, we're gonna make the stakes clear and draw a line in the sand. And yes, we're gonna hold you accountable for your actions during the next election, especially if your decisions in public office are gonna kill people. And for the senators they couldn't find in the hall, they dropped off these tombstones with staffers in their offices to make sure that they know that we know Trumpcare kills.
I'm from Ohio. I'm from Painesville, Ohio.
From Zanesville? Painesville.
Yeah,
Apologies.
up north. I am a voter, and I don't want Portland to vote, for this healthcare bill because it's gonna kill people like me, like his constituents.
We have a website.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
We have a website, ProtectOurCare.us.
Hell yeah! That is how you do it, resistors. Keep giving them hell and telling us the truth. But not all these senators are voting to murder Americans by stealing their health care. Hence, that's why they don't have enough votes to pass it. And some of the Democrats last night even held a sit-in on the steps of the Capitol where they talked to activists who would come to help resist the theft of 23 million Americans' health care. Check it out.
I think the point of this whole thing, right, of life is to do good, is to try to make people's lives better. And we have the ability to make sure that everybody in this country can be healthy. Why would you choose to want to go backwards? And I think about the challenge presented to our colleagues today, right? You went through all of this trouble to get this amazing job, right? To be a United States Senator, to be one of 100. You have the ability to help people in a way that almost nobody else does in this country. Forget the nuts and the bolts of the bill before us. Why would you choose to use this power to do something this damaging?
Across the country is kind of feeling, what is it that I can be doing? What's the most strategic use of my time? What's the most, smart thing that I can do? All I can say is as the congressman says, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and trust that the thing that you're doing at that moment, wherever you are, whatever you're capable of doing, is the thing that needs to be done. There is a time for being, really precise and really strategic. This is not that time. This is about stomping your feet and getting on the internet and making phone calls and showing up and calling everybody you know in every state. This is about making as much noise as you possibly can as the decision comes up. It could be tomorrow, it could be the following day, but this is no time to worry about exactly what you're doing at exactly what time. Do everything that you can get your hands on.
Agreed, and it's all working. I mean, people are saying, do those calls matter? They matter. If you are shutting down the phone lines of a congressman because you want to be heard, His staff are telling him that. They're telling him people are really angry, people are really upset. When you go outside a congressman's office and you have a sign saying, don't take away my health care, my daughter needs her health care, my daughter has a pre-existing condition, why do you think she doesn't have a right to live? That matters. It's your story. Tell your story.
That's exactly what this country needs. More members of the United States Senate who will literally sit down on the ground face to face with voters and have a real conversation about what's going on in our country. So hat tip to these Democrats in the Senate who are willing to talk to the people and have an honest conversation. Thanks to them and to you who are fighting for the resistance, we have won the battle to save our health care today. But the war's not over yet. The Republicans will come back in a few weeks with a renewed vengeance to gut our health care and steal it away from millions of Americans. So we need to take the fight to them by telling our stories about how important our health care is, which you can do at protectourcare.us. When they have to face thousands of healthcare sob stories and the tales of how Obamacare saves lives in their state, these senators may just decide that it's not worth killing people to make Trump happy. That's what they decided today, after all. And if they don't make the right decision, then maybe some of your stories will end up in campaign ads holding these killers accountable for giving Donald Trump a license to kill. I'm Ryan Clayton. This is Content News. Come back daily for the news where we're free to share the truth.